winners never win, but we're always growing. Hey there, big cat, let's chase the highest vibration. Together we'll create a new world, a brand new nation.
Namaste! Grand Rising Big Cat Earth Signs. Welcome or welcome back to Big Cat Astrology, Big Cat Wave, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. The planetary hot topics to add to your almanac over the next 7 days. On the 9th of December, the moon enters Aries. The moon in Aries ignites a fiery energy, pushing earth signs out of their normal comfort zone. You may feel an urge to take bold action in your career or personal life. Expect a surge of motivation to tackle long-standing challenges. The fixed star Antares fuels courage, encouraging you to confront obstacles head-on. An impulsive decision might lead to an unexpected opportunity, altering your path dramatically. On the 10th, the moon in Aries trines the sun in Sagittarius. This harmonious trine amplifies enthusiasm and optimism. Earth signs may find themselves inspired to pursue new ventures or adventures. Expect a boost in confidence and a desire to expand your horizons. The fixed star Betelgeuse magnifies leadership qualities, positioning you to take charge. A spontaneous trip or project could open doors you never imagined, reshaping your future. On the 11th, the moon in Taurus squares Mars in Leo. The moon in Taurus seeks stability, while Mars in Leo demands action. Earth signs might face conflicts between comfort and ambition. Expect tension in relationships where stubbornness clashes with assertiveness. The fixed star Capella offers clarity, helping you navigate power struggles with wisdom. A heated argument could unveil hidden truths, forcing you to reassess your priorities. On the 12th, Venus in Aquarius in opposition to Mars in Leo. Venus in Aquarius values independence, while Mars in Leo seeks attention. Earth signs may experience tension in relationships, balancing freedom and desire. Expect challenges in aligning personal needs with partnership dynamics. The fixed star Deneb Al-Gedi emphasizes justice, urging fair resolutions in conflicts. A romantic entanglement might reach a boiling point, leading to a passionate reconciliation or a decisive split. On the 13th, Mercury in Sagittarius sextiles Venus in Aquarius. Mercury in Sagittarius encourages open communication, while Venus in Aquarius, it fosters unconventional connections. Earth signs may find themselves engaged in enlightening conversations, especially expect opportunities to network and form alliances that broaden your perspective. The fixed star Altair inspires boldness, encouraging you to voice all of your innovative ideas. This is your time. A chance meeting could spark a collaboration that propels you into uncharted territories. On the 14th, the moon in Gemini is conjunct to Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter in Gemini expands intellectual pursuits, and its conjunction with the moon heightens curiosity. Earth signs may feel an urge to learn and communicate more. Expect news of or some form of information that shifts your outlook. The fixed star Alhina enhances eloquence, aiding in persuasive conversations. An unexpected message could lead to a significant opportunity, altering your course. On the 15th, the moon in Gemini. This lunation illuminates matters of communication and thought processes. Earth signs may gain clarity on issues that have been confusing. Expect revelations that prompt decisive action. The fixed star Rigel sharpens intellect, enabling strategic decisions. A sudden epiphany could compel you to make a bold move, changing your trajectory. Until we meet again on these astrological streets, Big Cat Wave. Namaste! Grand Rising Big Cat Earth Signs. Welcome or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for messages for your next 7 days. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Big Cat Wave. Let's dive right in and unpack. Oh, you have the element of a 10, darling dear. So something has reached its culmination, its completion time, darling dears. You also have the energy of the 10 on top, darling dears. Good golly. And the gosh, darling dears. And the gosh. Lean in, bestie. This is a little whisper in your shell light that the universe has your back, darling dears. This is fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. It's about you being on your purpose. The energy of the 1010 is like the binary source code, okay? It's about you continuing to work towards your goals because your goals are within reach. The energy of the 10 is also representative of the Wheel of Fortune, darling dears. Karma and good luck. This is about life cycles and you getting destiny, darling dears. You are at the top of the wheel, the turning point of something significant in your life. The energy of the 10 is also about karma.com, darling dears, and transformation. Definitely something reached its culmination. I love it, but I don't hate it. Okay, the energy of the 6 speaks about health. You may have a health issue at this moment in time. It could speak about cooperation. Maybe you want someone to come with you for your doctor's or medical center visits, or somebody wants you to go with them. Okay, but it's about you taking better care of your health going forwards, darling dears. We've got the energy of the 4. It speaks about stability. It speaks about your foundation. It speaks about money, something that is going to add to your stability and foundation, some kind of security that you've been building for yourself. We've got the energy of the 5, darling dears, twice. So it speaks about you utilize some gift that you've got, darling dears, in a unique way. Somebody's also going to be taking up sporting at this moment in time, as well as going into studying or being a teacher. Okay, love it. I don't hate it, darling dears. The energy of the fire elements, darling dears. Somebody could be going in as a travel guide, a pilot, into the forces, the police force, a soldier, firefighter, an athlete. I already said the sport was coming up. And the CEO of everything, darling dears. How about that? Or maybe you're an entrepreneur, darling dears. Could be in the government, political, what else? An actor. Whatever, darling dears. 12th house energy, darling dears, with the big cat Leo energy behind it. Did I say the 12th house? Meant to say the 5th. I said the 12th. Freudian slip, darling dears, meant to come out. 12th house is the house of Neptune, Pisces energy, darling dears. It speaks about your dreams, paying attention to your dreams going forward and the downloads that come towards you. It speaks about your psychic gifts. People are seeing you as a mystery, or you're mysterious around them, or maybe they can't see you. Why? Because you've run away like Tinky Winky. It also speaks about there's a lot of deceptive forces around you, darling dears. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Okay, so you have to also be aware of something to do with drugs or alcohol, darling dears. The 12th house is the house of family secrets. Maybe somebody's keeping a secret from you, darling dears. It's also the 12th house looks at your past, your habits, your pattern of habits in the past, darling dears. Maybe you are leaving them behind. Okay, love it. I don't hate it. Some kind of limitation, darling dears. You're overcoming that. All right. As we're using the dice, we use the Pythagorean theorem that only goes from 1 to 9. Okay, So it goes down to a 1. So it speaks about the first house, darling dears, Mars and Aries energy. Okay. It speaks about you being in a leadership role. But when we go by the energy of the dice, darling dears, the first house is in line with the sun energy. The sun is Leo energy again, the 5th house again, 3 times, darling dears, 555. All good in the hood, darling dears. It's about you holding on to your party hat because big changes are coming towards you fast. My earth sign, darling dears. It's going to be as though the ground beneath you is shifting, darling dears. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be seismic. Whatever's coming towards you, darling dears. Listen, you've worked for this. You deserve this. Yeah. You're going to be, some of you are going to be looking to travel now, darling dears, because you're going to have whatever, all of the funds, darling dears, whatever it takes for you to travel with ease. Remember I told you that. Your travel could also be online. Remember I told you that. Okay. You've got a 1 and a 3. You have a major decision to make around the next new moon, which will be a cold new moon in Capricorn on the 30th of December 2024, darling dears. Okay, you have a major decision to make. You've got the energy of the 3. There's a lot of gossip, darling dears. I told you, you ghosted a lot of people, darling dears. There's some people who are sat down. They don't even know what happened, but it had to be in order for you to come to this culmination that you've actually reached at. The energy of the 1, darling dears, is the 963 on the frequencies. Play that at night time, darling dears. It's all about your crown chakra. Remember I told you that. Some of you will be stepping into a leadership role. This speaks about luck, darling dears. The energy of the 5th house is about your creativities, utilizing those creativities. Okay, something that was once a hobby is going to be, it's going to switcheroo, darling dears. It's going to be your main thing, but because it's a hobby, it's going to seem like it's not going to, there's no effort that you're going to have to put towards it. Okay, be very careful of people that are gambling around you, darling dears, or someone is a gambler around you. Energy of the 5th house is also, you're going to be looking at your relationships with your progenies, if you have them, going forward, darling dears. There's definitely going to be a shake-up and a change in that relationship. Remember I told you that. Okay, the energy of the 5th house is the house of true love, darling dears. This is the house of true love, true everything, darling dears. But it's also the house of dating, romance, and drama.com. The 8th house is the house of lust, okay, but it's also the marriage house, okay. All right, but the 5th house, that's true love, darling dears, in that house. All right, let's press on. Something's going to happen, darling dears. It's going to make you feel as though the ground has literally shifted beneath your footsies. Good golly and the gosh. On the Lo-Shu grid, the energy of the 1, darling dears, is about your life mission. It's about your career, darling dears. So something in your career is going to be coming forward, darling dears. You're standing in public. Your community power, your status, these things are about to change. The 10th house is also about financial success, darling dears. I hadn't forgotten. I said the 10th house because the 10 is on the dice, darling dears. But this is the 1st house. It's water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Something's going to be happening during the winter. Are we not in the winter right now, baby? Something that you utilized your individuality. This is about being a rebel, darling dears. Could be you going up against a whole system. Remember I told you that. Energy of the 4 could represent somebody in government, somebody in local government. It could represent a school. Listen, the energy of the 3 is about teaching, darling dears. You could be going up against a teaching environment, but it's all looking good for you going forwards. Oh wow, that's a lot of intel, darling dears. A lot of intel. Okay, the energy of the 1 is representative of an astrological aspect of a conjunction. So yes, a new beginning, darling dears. One that is leaning deeply into what? Independence. And as I said, you are going to be attaining things. Why? Because you're an innovator, darling dears. You're futuristic thinking, right? It's about because you chose to take a new approach to all circumstances and situations in your life. This is why you've got the culmination. Things have ended. Things have fallen away. People haven't seen you. You're very mysterious. Okay? The energy of the one, according to the 48 laws of power, is never outshine the master. Somebody tried to shine you on, bestie. We've also got the energy of the 10 of the 48 laws of power. Stay away from losers and done with that, darling dears. I told you it will take you straight to point A and point B, which will quickly take you into what? Dummy back territory, darling dears. Stay away. Misery loves company, darling dears. All right, let's press on. Let's press on. So somebody's gossiping in the background. Should I go with this deck? Yes. There's some talk going on in the background. Energy of the 3. Somebody doesn't like the change that's coming into your life. Somebody wants to what? Good golly and gosh. That got left on the table. Somebody wants to backpedal and pussy pop back into your life, darling dears. Good golly and the gosh. Right? We've got Chiron energy. You was wounded by this person, but it also speaks about acceptance, right? You have some kind of bridge between the worlds, darling dears. A footing Keitha as well as Malkuth. Love it. I don't hate it, darling dears. There's cleansing. It also speaks about some kind of shaman initiation, right? But it speaks of your spiritual strength, darling dears, the wounded healer. Somebody would like to backpedal. We've also got what? Neptune energy. Pisces energy, darling dears. The 12th house, which I called at the beginning of the read, darling dears. Good golly and the gosh. It's in the upright, so you're using your imagination. It speaks about you being extremely sensitive, you're faithful, you're an empath. Yeah, and you've made a lot of sacrifices in your life, darling dears. But this is what? The comeback, darling dears. Pisces and Chiron, this is a deep healing that you've actually achieved. Oh, I love it. I don't hate it. What's the other deck? That caught my eye as well. It's a good shufti. Ground feels like it's shaking underneath you. Neptune energy. Good golly and the gosh. The 12th house is also about the unseen world, darling dears. So listen to your intuition. Pay attention to your sensitivities, darling dears. It's your empathic nature speaking to you. Be careful of any habits that involve any form of escapism, darling dears. A karmic debt is being paid. 12th house energy. The 12th house is also the house of hidden things like FBI, CIA, things like that, darling dears. Right? You've got what? From the ashes, baby, darling dears. Love it. I don't hate it. Energy of the 13, which goes down to a 4. But the 13, according to major arcana, is the death card. The 8th house, darling dears. Pluto and Scorpio energy. Rise and rebirth of you, darling dears. The 8th house is the house of joint finances. But it's also the house of things being paid to you, darling dears. Didn't I just say something about the Skrillers? It could be anything from compensation to settlements, taxes, inheritances, a will, maybe even a legacy, darling dears. The 8th house is of a highly spiritual house. It's a house that you will learn the occult, darling dears, whether it's astrology, numerology, tarot. The monies that's paid to you could also be alimony, child maintenance, darling dears. But it's also about you utilizing your clairvoyance. All right. Somebody's also losing something major. As you are gaining, somebody's losing, darling dears. Right? Yeah, see, I told you. The plot twist. The 4 and the 5 goes to a 9, darling dears. 9 speaks about the number of karma. Something that's fated to happen, darling dears. Yeah, this person is a merchant of slander. Jeremiah 9:40. Right next to the Chiron, darling dears. They're always up in the 12th house, spreading wickedness. The 12th house is also the house of witchcraft. Remember, I told you that. Let's get your oracle ancestry. Oh, I picked up this one and the elastic band's broken off of it. Okay, so they wanted to be free. Let's give it a good shufti. The ground is about to be shaken beneath your feet, darling dears. Somebody definitely would like to backpedal into your situation. What's underneath that, right? Karmic has a side dish. That's their business, mate. If they're with a karmic and they've got a side dish, that's their business. It can't be the big cat. Intimacy, darling dears. This could also speak about a new love situation for some. or you may be intimating something to someone. Remember, say less, yeah? Say less. Law number 4 of the 48 laws of power. Why? Because you're on your life mission, your life purpose, darling dears. All of these things were orchestrated and meant to be happening just at this moment. Let's look at the other deck. The dark night of the soul, energy of the 4. You went through that shiznai like a boss. You are now the red light, green light champion. As am I, of 79. Posh clap. Let's get a deck. Let's see what else is going on for you. Because the ground is about to be shaken beneath your feet. You're going to have a reason to rest, darling dears. Maybe after a long session, something that involved your communications, whether it's writing, emails, lots of things going out, darling dears. Yeah, because you're about to get over some betrayal. I pushed this down, and it's the 2 of Swords, darling dears, as well as the 10 of Swords. You're about to get over some betrayal, darling dears. You had to make a head over heart decision. It was a difficult decision. All of this sword energy out here. Good golly and the gosh, darling dears. This is about you gaining a new level of knowledge in a situation, utilizing your communication like a boss. This is a benefactor, darling dears. It also speaks about healing. All of this sword energy, darling dears. Aries, Leo. Did I say Aries? Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. I said Aries. It came out. It already came out with Mars and Aries. Why are we back at Aries? Leadership and leadership position. I already know that this is a fresh start. Okay. All right. The energy of the air, darling dears, it speaks about you getting some kind of justice in your favor, something that you don't see coming, or maybe you are expecting it, darling dears. Okay. This is after a lot of effort you put in. It could be, like I said, words, some form of communication that you put into a situation. This is healing. It also is a reminder that you have a foot in both worlds. Pay attention to your intuition and your discernment. Look what's here. The Knight of Swords. Somebody wants you to doubt the situation that you're in right now, but you are single and independent. You've made a lot of right choices going forward. This is somebody who is single by choice. Lots of air energy, lots of thought, but definitely justice and judgment is on the table, darling dears. Somebody's going to lose a watch. Okay. All that air energy is representative of Archangel Raphael. Call him at any time, darling dears. Yeah. A lot of inspirational thinking, darling dears. You've got a lot to put out there. It could represent online. Pentacles, darling dears, represent online. Your health is looking much better. And it also speaks about discovery moving forward. Somebody's planning a trip. Okay, you're planning a trip. And everything's going to go exceedingly well. It's you worrying for no reason, darling dears. Okay. Yeah, there was a lot of wounding in a situation. Let's talk about this merchant of slander. What's the matter with them? Why don't they go and play in the traffic and leave the big cats alone? Tell me something about this merchant of slander. It fell right into my lap. Whatever they did in the dark is about to come on top, darling dears. The way they're gossiping about you, somebody will be gossiping about them. Somebody's going to be talking about their finances and their relationship. Remember, I told you that. This is a page. This is someone that they see as a friend at this moment in time. Someone who's offered to them. Yeah, but it's all about to come out, darling dears. Yeah, this person's going to want to run and hide, but they can't hide from the truth, darling dears. Something to do with their stability. It also speaks about some form of displacement. Look at this, the confusion that's around them, darling dears. Good golly and the gosh. This is somebody that was always in competition with you. Okay, well, the plot twist is coming for them, darling dears. The most unhappiest card in the deck, the Sun in the reverse, darling dears. Sun card, big cat Leo energy. Okay, they've got issues with their heart, their spinal cord, their thalamus, their head, their eyes, their sense of movement, something to do with their movement. They've got issues, darling dears, issues, right? Yeah. They was invested in whatever it is that brought them to this point, possibly nosing in other people's business. They need to go and see a doctor, a GP, ASAP, because they've got something coming towards them that they don't even see it coming. The 6 on the side, darling dears. They may be aware of some illnesses, but there's more things to uncover, darling dears. This is extreme bad news that someone's going to get. Remember I told you that. But the ground itself is about to shake underneath the big cat. Tell me a little bit more about this ground shaking beneath your feet. What is this? Yeah, a new opportunity coming towards you. It could be involving your progeny or something, have something to do with your progeny. Energy of the 5th house, darling dears. Okay? What is this? You have some kind of offer coming in, darling dears. Something coming in. Somebody also wants to make a small apology. Hangman. This is someone that's trying to make it seem like they see it from your position. Divine is telling you to be strong in the face of this wickedness, darling dears. Leave them where they are. Leave them where they are. Ace of Wands, a new beginning in love, a new beginning in work, darling dears. And the Empress, you know your worth and you will be taxed. Okay? We've got devil energy. Why is the devil energy here when we're talking about the ground shaking beneath your feet, darling dears? Doesn't matter because God is giving you good justice. We also have the 9 of Cups. The universe is saying whatever you like. You're about to get your wish, darling dears. Whatever you've been working towards, it's about to visit you. This is going to be an extremely fortunate week for you, darling dears. Yeah. New beginning. But this is also about you, second guessing yourself. Energy of the 7 of Swords. You are coming through as the Queen of Wands, darling dears. Futuristic thinking and leader. If you're a parent, you're very nurturing, you're loving, but you also utilize your, as I said, your intuition and your discernment. Pay close attention to that, darling dears. With the High Priestess that is back and judgment on your side, everything's all go, go, go for you, darling dears. This is fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. Someone's mouth is about to be shut. Isaiah 37:38. That's their business, blood. That's their business. Let's get a final card. Then we're out of here. To get great. Please. This deck. This is your life purpose, darling dears. Intimacy, making the right choices for you. As I said, you have a foot between two worlds. Don't you ever forget that, darling dears. The energy of the 3 is the High Priestess energy, darling. High Priestess. The Empress energy. I said High Priestess. Listen to your intuition and your discernment. It will guide you throughout whatever comes over the next 7 days, darling dears. Remember, the ground is about to be shaken beneath your footsies and you walk between the worlds. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. Remember, somebody's going to try and do a bit of backpedaling into your existence. Don't allow them. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, 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 cat.